Welcome to the Mills Knows Bills podcast. My name is Mills Bender. I'm the founder and CEO of Mills Knows Bills, where we help you, variable income earners, master your money in 90 days. The point of this podcast is to help you make the most of your fluctuating income so you can stop living paycheck to paycheck, pay off your debt twice as fast, and get on track toward reaching both your personal and professional financial goals. Now, as I continue to grow my team here at MKB, you may have some guest hosts from time to time. However, our goal does not change. Whether we're bringing in a guest speaker, having an in-depth conversation about our personal finances, or talking about a topic that is of interest to you, our goal is to help you master your money.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mills Knows Bills podcast. I am your host, as well as the founder and CEO, Mills Bender. We are kicking off season 2 strong with the one and only Hugo. I'm so excited to have him here. He's probably one of the most interesting people I've ever met. He has a furniture shop. He's also just now getting into art dealing, especially high-end art. We were just talking about that. So really incredible person to meet. Hugo, please introduce yourself, and then we'll get into your burning financial question.
Hey, everybody. So kind of how Mills said, my name is Hugo Perez. 25 years old. I've been in the mattress and furniture space probably going on 5 years now. So this is what I would consider my career. Much like Mills, I kind of endeavor into the financial side of things as well. So I teach some financial literacy and kind of have a passion for that as well, which is what kind of naturally made me and Mills connect. But always looking to keep my hands in different pockets, which is where the art dealing stuff comes from. And I think a metaphor for my life is that if something interests me, I like to just go all in and just kind of figure it out. And that just kind of guides me in this life that I'm in. So I'm excited to be on.
Absolutely. Well, really excited to have you here. You have a really interesting question teed up. Go ahead, ask it, and we'll chit chat about it for a few minutes.
Right. So I think in this day and age, it's a very sexy question to ask. And I think a lot of people want to have that kind of interesting take of, is there such thing as passive income? That was one of the first ones. And kind of a subset of that question is, what are good places to invest your money? For maybe someone in all walks of life, someone that's maybe just getting started, has a few, couple $100 to put aside, all the way to the person that's a little bit more fluent and has a few thousand, if not more, to put aside. So what are some of the things that you like investment-wise? What are some things for people to consider? And again, to the main question, is there a such thing as a passive income?
It's a really good question. You're absolutely right, because it is a sexy topic right now. A lot of people are talking about passive income. And as you and I have talked about previously, there's so many different avenues for you to invest your money to get said passive income. But what a lot of new investors tend to forget is all of the work, the active work that it takes to get to that passive income side. So just a few off the top of my head, you could invest in stocks that give you dividends. You could create a business and structure your business at one point where you are no longer working in it, but you have employees and it's working itself. You could create a course or other digital product, or you can get something like real estate that's giving you rental income each and every month. But what a lot of people fail to remember is that there is a lot of work to set up each of those 4 examples. And there are many others out there as well. But, in terms of your subset question of what's the best way to invest your money, it's really dependent upon you as the investor and what you have the capacity to withstand. Remember, you have to put in that upfront work. And if you are not willing to deal with the suck of the upfront work, you're not going to enjoy the rewards at the end of it either. It's like the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a what. It's a great book because it talks about, it's not that you care about nothing. It's about you choosing what you're going to care about. You're going to have a hard decision to make either way. Choose your hard. So personally, for me, when it comes to looking at finding that passive income and working towards that passive income, I'm investing in areas like my business, in stocks that pay me a dividend. And of course, I have all of my courses and digital products some of which I've done all of the work up front. And now it's a matter of doing a little bit of work every now and then to promote them. But I'm at a stage in my life right now where real estate is just not realistic for me. I have 2 young kids. I'm a mom, a wife, an entrepreneur. That's just not something that I can dedicate the active work to right now. So to answer your question, what would you do and what should you do? It's dependent upon where you're willing to put the work in and understanding it's going to take some time until you reap those passive rewards.
I like that. You made an interesting point. So I had never really considered that until I just heard it right now. And my mind's kind of shooting on all cylinders. So you said digital products, maybe some recordings of a training that you've done or an area of expertise that you have that you could pass on. One of the things that I've kind of dabbled with a little bit is maybe getting into like coaching and consulting within my industry.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that I've gained from my mentors, and I know there's a need for the information. I just think specifically like in my industry, there's not a whole lot of innovation that goes on. So a lot of it is just, hey, let's hop on a call.
Yeah.
We'll exchange time for money still. And as this concept of passive income grows and grows, I'd never considered that. If you record yourself once, you put the time in up front, that product can then just be distributed. Whereas you're not having to, again, trade the time for money essence. So that was actually something really good. I had never even considered something like that.
Well, I'm happy that you're having this conversation today because you have so much to offer. You should create all of these digital products and courses, whether it's for the art dealing side, as you learn more about that, the furniture store, even your own financial literacy platforms. I think it's a great opportunity for you to, in the long term, generate some of that passive income. Because once you set it up, then it's just a matter of running some ads, maybe email campaigns. You've done all the upfront work.
So let me ask you, so if I'm understanding correctly, your definition of passive income is, it is something that exists. However, there is almost a reverse factor, if you will, whereas in the beginning, it's going to be a lot of front loading, a lot of work is going to be put in. And again, it depends on what avenue we're speaking on. So like you mentioned, if it's starting your own business, obviously there's a lot of work that has to go in the upfront on that. And if it's like real estate, I'm sure there's a lot of things that you have to do before the real estate even becomes yours. So I guess if you could give a message to other people, is it this? Is it find an avenue that you have a particular interest in or a particular skill set in, understand that you're going to have to put the work up front. And once that work is at a point where you could either delegate out or remove yourself from the equation, and this could come in the form of different products or services, then it becomes passive. So if I'm asking a different question, is passive investing or passive income something that comes as a result of after doing the active work?
I think, Hugo, we live in a society that wants instant gratification, and they want it for little to no effort. And unfortunately, that's just not realistic for a lot of areas where you do get to reap the benefits of passive income. And so, yes, I believe that passive income requires, in some cases, a substantial amount of active work up front most of the time in order to get to that point where you do have that passive income coming through. And there's nothing wrong with that. Are there some instances where you'll maybe get lucky and not have to do as much upfront work? Sure. However, I don't think that is the norm. I do believe that you get to put forth that work, and then as a result, you get to value that passive income at the end even more.
Awesome. That really defines, I guess, the question that I had at hand really well.
Good. I am glad that I was able to give you that clarification. And for anybody that wants to learn more about you, your businesses, and maybe just your level of expertise, what is the best way that somebody can reach out or follow you?
Yeah, so the biggest one is Facebook. I'm the most active on there. You can look up my name, Hugo Perez, and I can get into the details of how to find me a little bit deeper through the Facebook channels, if you will. I have an Instagram. It's hperez1598. So any of the social media platforms are going to be fine. Or you could even just contact me. I'm very different in the sense that I keep an open book as far as my phone. So you can even contact me there. Phone number is going to be 512-667-1750. I'm always open to phone calls or text messages, just as long as they're reasonable.
As long as they're reasonable. And you always have to have that asterisk. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. I absolutely loved our conversation, and I hope that a listener here gets to reach out to you and learn more about your experience and how they can maybe duplicate it for themselves.
Absolutely. I'm here. I'm a resource.
Thank you, Hugo. You have a wonderful day.
If you stuck around long enough to get to this part of the podcast, I just want to say thank you. We really appreciate the fact that you take the time to listen to the content in its entirety, because we do pour our hearts and soul into every single piece of content we let out. So thank you for being here. I want to let you know that if you're in a space where you're trying to level up your finances, you can always snag some free resources on our YouTube channel, Instagram. You're always welcome to email us at info@millsknowsbills.com. And if you're interested in taking part of any of our coaching programs or courses, be sure to mention our podcast to get a special discount, okay? We want to make sure that you are making the most of your financial investment. Again, I am your host, Mills Bender, founder and CEO of Mills Knows Bills. Thank you so much for listening. And just because I gotta, here's a quick little disclaimer. I want to remind you that this podcast is strictly discussion, okay? It's general, it's educational in nature. We don't provide any specific tax, investment, legal, or financial advice on this podcast with respect to any particular individual, okay? So if you're in a situation where you need specific help, please consult your own advisor regarding your unique situation, because it's not a one-size-fits-all.